Hi guys, Freddy here. Welcome back to the desktop for another rules breakdown. And this week we're going to be doing CyberSpace, the Iron Crown Enterprises cyberpunk-type role-playing game from 1989. Now this is the first edition of the rules, and that's possibly where I'm running into a problem, because these are not good rules. Okay? This is perhaps going to be my most guessed at rules breakdown, because these rules are so badly put together. Now, if you're looking for a section which tells you how skills work, there isn't one. There's nothing labelled how to make a skill roll or anything in these rules. There's lots of charts and tables which hint at how it's done, but nothing which actually explains it. And when you find out that skill tests are called tasks, so you look up the index at the back of the book, the only section it refers you to is the tasks section of tasks you have to do in the included adventure. So the index is absolutely useless as well. Now, I get a feeling that the authors didn't have much faith in the game, because when you look up various sections, it refers you to, for a better version of the rules, go and look up Space Master, which CyberSpace is completely compatible with. But I don't have Space Master. I can't use that to tell me how the rules work, so I've had to guess at some points. And using the character sheet, which is on page 38, a sample character, didn't help things, because we've got skill ranks here, and the way the rules refer to them, they should always group into basically blocks of 5. So the first one, body development at 14, threw me off completely. But when I went and looked up body development in the rules, because it's a skill everybody has, because you can see it's written on there rather than handwritten, you find out that body development skill is actually your hit points. But again, that's not really mentioned anywhere in the rules except under the skill description for body development. Anyway, I hope you'll forgive me guessing at some of these rules. I can see why CyberSpace wasn't massively successful, isn't that well remembered, although there was a second edition which, fingers crossed, was much, much better. But I chose this game to do a rules breakdown this week before looking through the rules, because I realised I'd covered it about 2-3 years ago and thought it was worth revisiting. But I've been regretting that for the last day while looking through the rules. But anyway, on with the video. Now, all skill rolls are based on what kind of maneuver you're doing, and every maneuver has its own chart. So we have pages of charts here with the dice rolls down the side, what you're attempting to do. Pages of charts. But basically, what you're trying to do is roll a D100 to get a success, and then you're applying modifiers. So you've got all your modifiers from your attributes, from your skills. If we turn to page 19 and 20, we can see some of those. So, based on your attribute, you get a bonus to it. So, a particularly high attribute gets you pluses, low attributes get you minuses. Same goes for your skills. If you've not got a skill, then you're rolling it at skill rank 0, you get minus 25 to your dice roll. If you've got extra, you get pluses. So a skill at 1 gets you plus 5, a skill at 2, 10, right up to skill 20 plus 70, and so on and so forth. There's also dice conventions. If I go back a page, a couple of pages, dice rolling conventions. So you're rolling a D100. If you get under 6, then you roll a second time and you subtract it from that 100. So you can be getting a minus on your D100. If you're over 95, you do a second roll and you add it to the first. So it's possible to get up to like 200 or minus 99 on a D100. It's actually a variability of 300 basically, with the middle 100 being the largest selected. So you're rolling your dice, you're adding your modifiers from your skill, and you're trying to hit the target number. There's also difficulty levels here, so routine tasks are plus 30 to your dice roll, insanely difficult tasks are minus 100. Initiative combat is one of the more easy parts of the game. So if I turn onto the combat section, sequence of actions. Basically it goes in phases. All non-melee attacks and parrying, dodging against such attacks, and loading, reloading go first. Moving maneuvers and vehicular maneuvers go next. Melee attacks and melee parrying go next. Character movement goes next. Static maneuvers and special maneuvers go next. So if you're shooting, you're going first. Defense goes against those. Then moving maneuvers, melee attacks, character movement, and then static maneuvers go last. But apart from that, it's up to the games master to determine who goes in what sequence, whether the player's got the surprise on the enemy, etc., etc. Now in combat, skill rolls work in a very similar fashion. So you're taking your offensive skills, so melee combat or fire or whatever combat skill you're using, and adding all your bonuses on to a D100. If we turn onto the combat section on page 49, I've gone past. So we're adding all the bonuses together. Any bonuses we get from weapon, actually I need to flick back to the character sheet, should have kept my finger in there. So we've got things like ranges from his gun, he's using his pistol, so if he's firing point blank, he's getting a bonus of 36, short range 36, medium range 6, or long range minus 64. He's rolling his D100 against all these target numbers. But the target is shooting against, or target is attacking, get their defensive bonuses as well. So if they're fighting back in melee, they'll get the defensive bonuses for that, any kind of dodge skills, etc. Now, armor doesn't take away from the attacks. Armor we'll deal with in a second. But basically, you're rolling D100, adding all the bonuses for your offensive bonuses, taking away the opponent's defensive bonuses, and coming up with a certain number. Once you've got this number for your attack, you need to turn to the damage tables. Page 195. And we are looking at the attack tables here. So we're firing a small projectile attack, and we choose which column we're going on based on their armor type. So the sample character has LBA armor. So we're rolling on this column, depending on our dice roll, if we've got bonuses to take it over 100 or less. So 0 to 5 is a possible failure. Otherwise, it lists how much damage is done, and then we've got letters listed, which work on the critical hits. If we've got a letter, then we roll on the critical hits table. So we've got different hands, puncture critical tables, etc. So we roll a D100 on here. So we roll, applying any modifiers we get from what type. So an A critical is a minus 20, so we rolled 54, we got 34. So 5 strike plus 3 hits, if no armor, plus 3 hits per round. And that's the kind of extra damage that's done on top of the base damage we got for rolling on the attack table. Now these can go up quite high. If you're rolling extremely high, so you've got bonuses for your E-type critical, shot through both ears, hearing impaired, dies instantly, awesome shot. Strikes through kidney, plus 9 hits, knocked down and dies after 6 rounds of very intense agony, sad. So the critical hits can really take out a character very, very quickly. But normally damage is in the lower mid-levels, so you're just getting a certain amount of hit points damage. So we've got a certain amount of hit points damage. We'll assume there wasn't a critical which killed them outright. We turn back to the sample character, but their hit point total is not written in, because we have to look up their body development skill, which is on page 24. It details it out. Body development. This skill represents a character's ability to withstand pain, shock, and bleeding. Every character starts the game with a special bonus for this skill of 10, already included in the character sheet. For each rank in body development skill, roll 1d10. Some of these rolls is the body development skill rank bonus. Total skill bonus is determined as in section S7.6. Total skill bonus for this skill is called the character's hit total, the number of concussion hits the character can absorb. So you're taking those off whatever you've received in damage. And that's how health works. It's all based on this body development skill that you can buy up to buy extra hits. So CyberSpace is a weird level-based system. If we turn to the advancement section on page 31, we can see you get experience points. Turning over the page, we can see as you get experience points, you got levels. So everybody starts as level 1 with 10,000 experience. At level 2 at 20,000, level 3 at 30,000, and so on and so forth. When you advance a level, you go up on your class. So if I flip back to page 20, we've got the profession bonus chart. So when you go up a level as a sleaze, you get 1 point in general skills, you get 3 points in social skills, and you get 3 points in perception skills. Sneaks get, according to their column, killers, net junkies, jockeys, and tech rats. And you add those skill points and recalculate the skill bonus because your skill rank has gone up. And that's how progression works. Obviously, if you are buying up your body development skill, you're getting more hit points, you're getting more rugged, but you have to spend skill points on that to get tougher. So that is a fairly confused look at CyberSpace. Now, CyberSpace has one element which is absolutely fantastic, and that's the Cybernetics. Because the Cybernetics don't come from just a sort of shop listing. What you do is connect systems together. So you can connect your computer to your gun to your eyes to get some kind of bonus to hit. And you can build systems like that where you're connecting a system to an input to an output. And you're gaining bonuses for that, rather than just buying a set cybernetic device which does something. You're actually building systems yourself within you by connecting stuff together. A really innovative system, not as flexible as it could be, but it's really interesting to do, far more flexible than Shadowrun, Cyberpunk, etc. And a really solid core to CyberSpace, really built around the Cybernetics, as a Cyberpunk game probably should be. But as I've said in this video, the rules are an absolute mess. At least in the first edition, they are not very well set out, they are not well explained, there's very few samples given a play. So I apologize if I've made mistakes in here. Please correct me in the comments below. But as usual, I've whittled on for quite long enough, so thank you very, very much for watching. But most of all, as always, you look after yourselves. And I'll catch you later. Bye now.